Currently, when most people hear artificial intelligence, they imagine AI models and LLM models like Gemini or ChatGPT. AI is far more ancient and far more deeper than that in the real world. We don't even realize that. Turns out John McCarthy was right. He was one of the leading guys in founding AI field in Dartmouth workshop, if you remember. As he said, as soon as something becomes very useful, people don't call it AI anymore. So here's the thing, that we have been using AI since far too long, and it's actually very deep part of our lives. The most fascinating ones for me were those which were developed by Google in association with DeepMind, the same company that made AlphaFold and now Gemini 3. These AI models run on device and perform thousands, maybe millions of calculations daily and are very important, but we don't realize that. Let's start with something in front of your eyes right now. Maybe the device you're watching the video on, your smartphone. And everyone knows that they have AI assistants like Google or Siri, but no, I'm not talking about those. Everyone knows about them. In that small processor of your device, which you think isn't even powerful enough to run without lagging, many small AI models run continuously and you use them multiple times a day. You must have, well, I have some tweets that new mobile devices have lower battery lives initially, but after some time the battery gets better. People say that it's due to battery warm up, but no. Android's adaptive battery feature was launched in 2018, and later it was announced that it was made with the help of DeepMind in 2019. The same company that built AlphaFold. It's a deep neural network that watches your device 24/7. It learns which apps you use and when. Like a random app which you haven't opened since you installed, or Instagram or emails which you check daily. Think like if you open Instagram at 6 in the evening, the AI model will restrict the processes in the background till 6 p.m. so that it doesn't consume much power, as it already knows. And when the time arrives, the app is already loaded in the background to run more smoothly and while saving battery. Similarly, what happens at night when you sleep or when you charge your phone overnight, the phone knows that currently you are sleeping or not and adjusts the apps running in the background according to that. Often we use Instagram to post photos and videos of. So behind taking those simple or awesome pics, there is also an algorithm. Have you thought how a modern smartphone is far superior than a DSLR camera at similar price point? I mean, both have similar performances, but that DSLR camera has far greater physical hardware. The lens which it has cannot be fit into a small mobile device. So companies have to use algorithms and technology behind making those pics better. The smartphone brands train their neural networks on millions of images taken from all over the world in different conditions. And when you take a similar photo to that, the AI already knows how that image would look like if taken from a professional camera, and creates further additional details to make that image look like it's taken from a professional camera. The physical lens of your smartphone isn't capable of doing anything like that the software does. That's why MKBHD says that modern photography is more about software than hardware. Another magical use case of photography AI is in portrait shots. As I told you, the lens is too small and it cannot measure the depth between you and the background. So it also uses AI. Apple introduced this feature first in the iPhone 7 Plus back in 2016. It uses machine learning to create a depth map of you versus your background, identifies everything, and then digitally blur the background and other pixels that it decides aren't important. That's not a camera anymore. That's a computer that happens to have a lens attached to it. All of these things happen in the background to generate image which you don't even find good enough to show your friends. Okay, we have now taken a pic that is assisted by AI models and we want to post it on Instagram, but it needs a caption. What app do you use to write caption? I use Gboard or maybe any other keyboard you use, all have predictive text in them. Every time you type something, you are using AI there also. Gboard doesn't just autocorrect, it uses a technology called federated learning. It's a technique developed to help AI models learn things and still keep your privacy. You don't want to send your text messages to Google. So what it does is it processes those text on your device and then converts into mathematical patterns. It recognizes what is what but doesn't gets your real message. The patterns are then sent to the Google server for further processing. Your messages aren't. All that to protect your privacy. Your breakup messages are literally converted into millions of equations and patterns to send them to cloud to train an AI model on. And this is the reason when we buy a new phone, oftentimes it gets frustrating to type something because the AI takes some time to learn more about us, what we are going to type next. But it's even more surprising that even after just 5 minutes, the AI already knows what we are going to type next. Okay, we have talked about all the core things that go into Android to make your experience better. But now let's zoom out a little bit. Everyone around us, we use apps, social media, or any other thing. All of those apps use AI algorithms running in them. So now let's talk about them one by one, starting with one of the most beloved social media app that almost everyone uses, Instagram. How we use Instagram? We open the feed, we scroll the reels, we check some comments. All of these things appear to be random to us. The reels we think are random, the posts that we happen to like are random. Well, they are not. An AI model from Instagram has already analyzed thousands of signals you have given it, from which post you like, which comment you see, and how you react to, or what reel you skip. It then begins to form a relevance score for you for every single post so that it knows which kind of posts you love and which you don't. That's why when we make a new account on any app, the starting feed seems very out of place. We don't like many videos, and turns out from some researchers that it can even predict your mental state from that information faster and much accurate than a human therapist. Something which saves millions of people from getting scammed. The thing powered by AI I am talking about is Gmail's spam filtering feature. You check your emails, I check my emails, and often there are less spam messages and we don't think twice. But the reality is Gmail is blocking 99% of spams before they even reach to us. How? It uses another neural network they have named TensorFlow. It analyzes text, OCRs, things, metadata, the media embedded in it, and everything else. It's globally connected and always improving, always training. It always learning from all the emails that everyone sends to each other every day. These AI models aren't just very good and accurate, but they are very important for the real world humans. This single feature has saved billions of dollars from getting scammed from people over the years. Okay, we have talked about everything in your phone, but you know there's AI beyond your phone also. What about when we head outside of our homes to our work or to some other place? I am talking about Google Maps ETA, estimated time of arrival. Whenever we plan to go somewhere, we always check how long it will take for us to reach there. If it says 15 minutes, we actually reach there around that time. We just don't question it anymore how it works. It just works. But behind that accurate estimate, there is a neural network called graph neural network, which is again developed by the DeepMind. See, in the real world, the traffic doesn't flow randomly. It always flows in a fixed direction, in a fixed concentration. Everything with enough data is predictable. The neural network converts all the road networks, all the lights, and all the intersections into mathematical data points which train the AI further. The AI doesn't just look at current traffic, it predicts future traffic by understanding how congestion will flow further through the network, how it flows daily, following the same pattern. This one subtle feature is very important part of our journeys, and behind that simple query there is a cluster of CPUs, GPUs and a neural network accurately telling me the answer by predicting the future at a small level for us. You have reached your destination, whether you went out for shopping or to a nearby hotel for your vacation. At the desk, they ask you to tap your credit card and boom, the payment is done within a millisecond. But behind that payment also, there is an AI that protects you from getting scammed multiple times a day. One of the biggest companies in the world is Visa. It uses a tech called advanced authorization. Every time you swipe a credit card, an AI makes a decision in less than a second. It analyzes over 500 risk attributes like where you swipe card, how frequently you swipe card, your spending speed, if the merchant can be trusted. It assigns a risk score. If it's too high, the transaction automatically gets declined. Visa processes billions of transactions daily, and for a company at that scale, and a single transaction that can make you poor, that's too much to go wrong. So to prevent that, in 2024 Visa introduced use of Gen AI models there. To protect you from being scammed, the Gen AI models predict the next steps a fraudster will take to scam you further before the scamster even does that. It just blocks attacks in advance, and it works. People don't notice these subtle features, but millions of people are being protected by these systems from getting scammed of their hard-earned money. The AI models are very important. They are very deep also in our society. So here's the thing, when we currently watch any AI news, a tweet or think about AI, we think about the future. AGI, ASI, robots, sci-fi. But AI is already here. It has been here since a long time. It doesn't ask us for a permission. It just protects us, improves our life quietly in the background. Our batteries last longer, your photos look professional, your typing gets easier, and you are protected from being scammed. We never think twice. An AI that thinks millions of times before taking a decision. So it turns out John McCarthy was right. As soon as something becomes too useful for society, We just don't consider that AI anymore. So next time, of course, you won't notice it, but maybe it happens. Remember, that's not just software, that's $1 billion investment by a company that makes your life easy just using AI. It's invisible, efficient, and everywhere. If you have another question or want me to make a video about anything else, drop in the comments and we will talk about that. Also tell me what can be improved further.